Dave made this beat.
Welcome to Say Like a Champ, episode 296. It's your boy A-Dub.
And your boy Shedeur. Welcome back, SLAC. Damn, back in the building, baby. 296. Let's get it.
Yeah, that's crazy. Back in the building, another episode, 296 days in a row. Or not days in a row, weeks in a row.
Right.
Lots of days. Coming up on our 6-year anniversary, and pretty soon coming up on episode 300. That will be May 27th. We still haven't figured out exactly what we're going to do, but it's pretty much 1 month from today. So that's exciting. We're going to have to figure out something to commemorate the milestone for sure. We got some slackers in the building already. We got Pops, we got Moms, we got Stephanie Washington, and Kelly as well. Welcome to the show. We appreciate y'all being with us as always. And not too serious of an agenda for this week, but we have some interesting topics within the agenda. Definitely going to catch us up on the NBA playoffs and where everybody is at with the round one series. And then also want to do a little bit of NFL draft recap. And I want to invite everybody to kind of grade their team's draft, what they thought of the players that they got their team. And then Strizzy and I will grade our teams as well. But yeah, I think since the NBA playoffs are going on right now, I kind of want to start with that before we shift gears into the NFL draft. So we'll probably start there right now. But before we do, Strizzy, just a real quick check-in. What's good with you, fam? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. You know what I'm saying? It's weird. Like, I know it's Tuesday because we got SLAC and everything, but for some reason, it just feels like it's later in the week for me. You know what I mean? Like,
been a long week
Wednesday.
already.
Yeah, I know for some reason, but like it's only Tuesday, man. So, we're not even halfway through the week yet, but like not bad. It's weird. It just feels like it's going by super like slow for me. So, aside from that, man, I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing good. Yeah, kind of same. Like I'm like, dang, I feel like it's been a long week already, and it's only Tuesday. But definitely glad to be here with our SLAC family, and as always, kind of breaks up the week. I always feel like, what I'm saying, like, definitely looking forward to nights like these. So we also got Anthony Weston in the building. What's good, Ant? And welcome in. All right, so let's go to the games that are happening today. Before we, as far as the NBA playoff schedule. And then we'll go to kind of some of the series that have been completed. But today just ended the Pacers Bucks, and that series just ended with the Bucks winning. Or sorry, the Pacers winning 4-1. Bucks had a big lead late. Strizzy, you were just telling me about that. But in general, obviously this game, it seems like they kind of let it slip at the end. But do you think this is a big disappointment for the Bucks given the injuries? And what did you think about Dame going down as well?
Yeah, man, it sucks. I know we talked about it, I think, like on the last week's show when they said that he was going to be coming back. I think it might have been for game 2 or game 3. And even though that wasn't concerned of blood clots, I still felt like they were trying to force him back, right? To try to just give them a little bit of a push to not get beat by the Pacers in the first round. But I don't know. A part of me feels like he should have been back. I know, non-contact injuries like that are freak accidents, but now with at the age that he's at, an Achilles injury, like there's no telling what kind of player he's going to be when he officially does come back. And I don't know, man. I think this is the beginning to the end for this team. I think Giannis is going to want out. I really do. I think he kind of hinted wanting to be out a while ago before they went out and got Dame and things of that nature. And I'm sorry, man. Doc Rivers just really didn't pan out. Like in my opinion, he never really does. I feel like he had a great thing going in Boston, but aside from that, like he's just, to me, in my opinion, he's not one of those. He's not a coach's coach. I think he got lucky, and he hasn't really been successful anywhere else he's really been in terms of like playoff winning and things of that nature. Like I don't know, man. I'm not a big fan of his as far as coaching wise, and think he just gets lucky with the teams that he's inherited. You know what I mean? And doesn't like coming into bad spots or teams that are how do you say rebuilding. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So didn't work out last year. They were horrible this year. Like they, and then you see the playoffs. Like the Pacers are a good team, but you look at a team that's got Giannis on it, and especially with Giannis, everything that Giannis did, because he really did tear that series up. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, it's crazy.
Yeah, I agree. I think they got a little more talent, especially just at least to be competitive in a series like that instead of just getting one game gentleman's sweep.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You would expect a better showing. Like you said, the Pacers are a good team, but we'll see. That is interesting though. They will go against the Cavaliers, who finished the sweep of the Heat. Pacers, Cavs. I feel like that's a decent series, but I still kind of have the Cavs in that one. I feel like they can just score a little bit too easily. But that'll be an interesting matchup coming up, and see on that one. But
defense too. Cavaliers are one of the top teams in both offense and defense, so they could really play at any pace, which is really kind of the Miami's weakness. You know what I'm saying? Like they're a slow paced team. If they can hold you below 100, their record for that is like crazy. But Cavaliers are like, we could play slow, if you want to, and we'll D y'all up, and they did. They murdered us, man. Like so. Glad I kind of see some changes. This is a really kind of crappy year for the team in general. Just everything that was going on, that was happening. So I'm excited to see what they do in the offseason, and they have to make a significant move. Like they can't just sit on their hands and hope, saying that a weak trade is in the works. Like if they want to go after Giannis, or if they want to go after KD, they're going to give some stuff up.
Yeah, for sure they will. Like Anthony in the comments, he said Giannis to the Lakers. He said Doc got lucky that Andrew Bynum was hurt. That's what I say too. Andrew Bynum, one of my favorite players. Pops and I were actually talking about him last time we got together, and it's so funny though. That's still one of my favorite players. But yeah, we'll see. That should be a good one. I want to also welcome Unc to the show. Thanks for being here, Unc. We appreciate you.
Hope you're recovering all right.
Yeah. Hope you're recovering, and also want to say thank you again for the cards. I was thinking maybe we should do a little unboxing for the YouTube of the cards, maybe, but Unc hooked us up with another care package, so we'll have to be checking that out really soon. On the other side, on the West, the Thunder did finish off their series, and they'll be moving on, which is no surprise. They're just so good. But it'll be interesting to see who they end up matching up with next. That'll be either Denver or the Clippers, and they're tied 2-2. They play tonight as well, so it'll be interesting to see. Kind of, that's a good battle. That's probably been one of the most fun so far. I think
it's been them. I think that one so far has easily been the best one so far.
Yeah, I agree. So we'll see. I can see that one going to 7. Another one on the other side. Before we get to my Lakers, though, Warriors Rockets. They play again tomorrow. Warriors up 3-1. We talked about this, but I think the Rockets are actually scrappier than I thought they would be, and they're doing a good job. They really are, but it's just kind of tough. The Warriors have just had that late game stuff, and
they're an offensive closer.
Jimmy. Yeah.
They're an offensive closer from this series being done already. Like they've led like the entire series, but fourth quarter comes around and they have no one to get the job done.
Yeah, for sure. It'll be interesting to see what moves they make as well in the offseason. It's funny. Obviously these playoffs are cool and everything, but I'm so much already kind of looking forward to the offseason to see how our teams are going to come back.
I'm already checked out. I'm
like, all right, we'll see. Especially because I think the Celtics are such a heavy favorite. I'm like, oh man, I can't watch them do it again. Like that'll be
for real.
That'll be whack. So we'll see.
I love the Cavs take them down.
Exactly. But yeah, got to talk about the Timberwolves Lakers. And the Lakers blowing another fourth quarter lead, had 2 double-digit fourth quarter leads in this series so far that they've kind of given up. But yeah, Minnesota now up 3-1. My question for you is: are the Lakers done? And and what are your thoughts of JJ as far as actually making adjustments or not in this series?
So I'm actually. A lot of people were looking at JJ and kind of blaming him, but honestly, I think he's actually done a fair job. At the end of the day, like you said, the Lakers have blown those leads. So it sounds like the game plan is working, but the players may not be executing. And they had a lot a lot of shots to make in that game, and they just couldn't come down with anything late. And
they had no legs though. This was almost like a Tibbs job.
Right, for reals. That's true. That is true. But I do feel kind of like, the Lakers, if they go out in the first round, I think it's fine. They still need something. Like, they need rim protection. That's why I think them like going after Giannis would be like huge. We talked about possibly going after Joker in the offseason, but if we're being completely honest, the Lakers have plenty of playmaking. Especially if they can keep their hands on Reeves. You know what I'm saying?
Too.
So like, I think they need a defensive-minded type player. They don't need Joker. Joker would be dope, but I think Giannis would be great for them. I think that'd be huge. And they'll come back, get some more wing defenders, because it's okay if your superstar is not good on defense, as long as you have players around him who can make up for it. And right now, they don't even have players who can make up for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just don't. Like, LeBron's horrible on defense now. Like, yeah, cool, he'll get a chase down block every once in a while, but like, his legs and knees don't move that way laterally anymore. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, players love switching on Reeves. They love taking advantage of him too. So they need like a real, like, I'd say even two like wing defenders who can really kind of like help them out in that aspect. But the Timberwolves are a good team, man. Like, they were just in the Western Conference Finals last year, and just overall, like, Ant's playing well, but the whole team's playing well. Like, McDaniel's over here putting up games, and he ain't never played like this before. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, it's crazy.
And that's part of my disappointment too on the Lakers side, because I agree with what you're saying as far as JJ. Like, he has had a good game plan, but at the same time too, there hasn't been that other guy. It's like, we know what LeBron is going to bring to the table. He's actually taken a little bit of a step back, but we know obviously what Luke is going to do. But it's like, you need somebody like Rory to come out and like hit 3 or 4 threes and like score some and have a big game. And that's what they're having with McDaniels and other players, where they're like, okay, they're having that extra.
Yeah.
Because the playoffs is always that X factor. Everybody's going to get theirs, but who's going to bring you over the top? Who's going to step up and like really kind of propel you forward? And the Timberwolves, they have that depth. The Lakers kind of don't right now. But
the role players are outplaying the Lakers role players for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, and like you said on the wing defenders, like that was supposed to be Vanderbilt. Like that was supposed to be Finney Smith. It hasn't really worked exactly, but we'll see. Stephanie says totally whack. They're done. Want to welcome Grace to the show.
What's up, Grace?
Hey, Grace. Glad to see you here. Welcome to the show, and exchanging some hellos there. But yeah, I think they are done as well. I do think though it's like the disappointments for me. All of a sudden I'm blanking on the big man, but my boy, he only played like 5 minutes in that game
Jackson
for
Hayes.
the Lakers. Yeah, it's like, I know he's not like the best. I know he's like not the strongest. I know he gets in foul trouble, but it's like 4 minutes. Like, just you got to switch it up at least a little bit and just have him out there trying something, because he's not going to get no rhythm. Like, get him some lobs and something, like make him a threat. That's what was kind of missing. So we'll see.
Yeah, that bothered me too. It's like, you're looking at the box score, you're like, you already don't have great rim protection, and with him not playing, you have literally zero. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least let him go out there, like you said, get some lobs in. He's a very energetic big. You know what I mean? So let him go out there and throw some screens and get some easy buckets from Bron and Luka. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Interesting stuff though, but we'll see if they stave off elimination tomorrow at home. I think that they might win one more game, but we'll see. Pop says Giannis rumored to possibly go to Spurs. I prefer KD to the Spurs so Victor can play his game and not worry about scoring.
Right.
Durant would be cool to go to either Texas team, either the Spurs or the Rockets. I think that would be dope.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think so. He's going to be going somewhere. Anthony Weston also said Giannis is the move for the Lakers. That would be crazy. I don't know if they'd be able to get him. They say they'd have to give up Reeves to get Giannis. So I don't know. We'll see. But that would be pretty crazy to see them play together, though, all three of them.
Yeah.
Og says, where's Dalton Connect? He hasn't really been getting any minutes at all. And obviously the big thing with the kind of some of the drama with the trade for Mark Williams. But I wonder, looking back, if the Lakers wish they had Mark Williams right now and how things would be different.
Yeah. Of course.
But obviously, if they're going to go for somebody a little bit different, then that'll be kind of they played the long game. They're like, let's see what we can do this year, but our hopefully investment is going to be in next year when they really have the pieces to make a run. So
for sure.
We'll see. All right, that was our playoff picture. I think the only ones we didn't mention is Boston and the Magic. They're playing tonight, and then the Knicks and the Pistons. Both of those could end tonight. The Knicks looking like they're in a chance to put the Pistons away, but the Pistons have been very scrappy. A lot of weird late game finishes for that series have kind of swayed it. That's another one that could be differently, I think, for the Knicks. But I mean, sorry for the Pistons, but I do think that they've had a great season, but I do think that they're done.
Yeah, they needed to win that game 4, and to tie it up 2-2, and they would have been in great position. But man, Brunson just bro couldn't miss.
Yeah,
bro could have shot with his eyes closed from full court, and it was going in. Like he could miss nothing.
Yeah, he was on fire. He was on fire. Yeah. And I think it is so crazy though with that big sway. You know, like 2-1 obviously is not a must win, but the difference between 3-1 and 2-2 is just like crazy. Like obviously,
big time.
So a lot of teams being put in that position, but that's kind of what I love about a 7-game series. It's like, all right, then you gotta like every game is pretty important. So you don't want to put yourself down in that kind of a hole. So we'll see. All right. So so that's pretty much where we're at with NBA. Also, Boston and Orlando. Yeah, Boston will probably finish that one. But we'll see. I do like how Orlando is playing as well, though. Even though
me too. I think they have a lot of talent and they're young. Yeah. They need to round out some different positions with like some better pieces. But Bron's monster this year and Bonchero is, man, that kid's hooping.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So I think that's where we're going to leave it with NBA. Nothing else, obviously, outside of the playoffs to really report on right now for the NBA side. But I did want to go to the NFL draft. And I know Shedeur Sanders became the big talk of the NFL draft. And I do want to talk about that and get comments from y'all in the chat on what you guys thought about his slide. But also, I kind of wanted to give us the chance to grade our teams. So, Strizzy, I don't know. I want to put you on the spot, but for the Panthers, David Canales going into his second year. What did you think, on a letter scale of the Panthers draft? What would you grade it? And then I'm going to tell you what Pro Football graded it.
I give us a B+, or maybe even an A-, B+ or A-, somewhere around that area. And the reason why is I think I would have preferred the best possible pass rush with the first round pick. But I'm not mad at the best wide receiver in the league either. I don't know if it's not in the draft. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not mad at the best wide receiver in the draft. We definitely, at some point in time, like the offense really rolled at the second half of the season when Bryce kind of started to learn and get comfortable and get his confidence back. And we still didn't have really like that guy. Adam Thielen was still our number one. So I'm happy with it, but we also can't keep giving up 500 yards of offense, you know what I'm saying, every game. But then the rest of the draft was basically all defense. So, we got multiple pass rushers. We got another defensive tackle. We got a safety. We got another running back, which I thought was actually a good idea. At first, I was like, what for? But, like, Brooks already showed that might still be a little bit more of an injury-prone type guy. So grabbing another really good, decent running back is probably a good idea. But I love the amount of defensive pieces that we went after and the important ones, like, tackle, being able to stop the run, and getting some pressure to the quarterback. If you get pressure to the quarterback, that helps your DBs. You know what I'm saying? So I like that. I like the draft. I think they actually did a really good job.
I agree. I think they did too. I think they were smart to grab our boy McMillan from U of A because I think that he's gonna be like their Evans. Like he's gonna try to deploy him like a big body wide receiver like that, and I think that will really help kind of throwing some jump balls and such. Bryce Young, I'll make it a little bit easier target, hopefully. And I really think that guy's going to be good. I know there were some questions about him as far as like, can he get separation and different things like that? But I think he's going to be really good. I was hoping that he would fall to the Cowboys, but he did not.
Right.
But Pro Football Focus actually grades the Panthers at an A+.
Dang, okay.
They give it A+, nice. For that same mixture that they talked about. And then getting the Georgia running back, that's pretty cool,
Yeah, I like that too. I was like, it's funny because I actually at that point in time, I think there was another Georgia player that was there, and I wanted him, but I was like, but I understood, like at some point in time too, we need we need a guy on offense who can like really actually help open up the passing game and the run game at that. So, but yeah, defense the rest of the way. So I thought we did really good. I didn't want to like go too crazy, but A+, I'll take it.
Yeah, that's what's up. Can't get much better than that.
Yeah.
Anthony Weston said Chiefs did great. He grades them an A. And Pro Football Focus grades the Chiefs an A as well. Talks about them getting obviously linemen on both sides, offensive line and then defensive line and edge rusher. I think that obviously we saw the Super Bowl, right? Everybody saw that they could not protect Mahomes, so I think it was no surprise that they went offensive line first off. But I do think that was the right way to go, and we'll see. But I think the Chiefs did pretty good too, especially when you're drafting that late in the rounds. It's like you're obviously not a team with the most holes, but you know you can still get some good players to kind of fill your needs. So
no, definitely.
All right, got to jump on the Cowboys though, and yeah, like you say, it's funny. The Cowboys, man, they still don't have any Georgia players. I'm still hoping for that one day because we see that's been the key to success for some teams getting Georgia players. I feel like you got to have at least one, but the Cowboys always instead draft Bama players and Florida players like religiously. It's so funny. But the Cowboys, Pops gave them an A. And this actually, Pro Football Focus actually gives the Cowboys an A+. They got the guard from Alabama in the first round, and a lot of people did say that was kind of a reach based on where he was with the boards, and they should have traded down and stuff like that. But obviously, you can only trade down if you have a partner or if you're willing to take that risk. But at the end of the day, whether they took this guy at 12 or 18th or 20th, like if he turns out to be, like Pro Bowl all the time and one of those kind of guys. And if he solidifies the line, like nobody's going to come back and care to be like, oh, they took him like 3 picks too early or whatever. Like it won't matter. So I was definitely fine with them. Just like, this is our greatest need. Like, let's go and get the best player on the board at that position. So hopefully that works out. And then they got some defense, didn't go with the running back until the 4th round, and actually took 2 different running backs, which I think they might try to use as change their pace guys and then just go with the veterans that they signed in the offseason. We'll see. But the biggest surprise for me was no wide receiver at all. And so I don't know if this opens the door for them to go after a free agent that's kind of floating out there. Amari Cooper, for whatever reason, comes to mind because we had him before. Like, is this like a reunion time? He's still just like chilling out there. Something I feel like they still need to do as far as the receiver core and put somebody next to CeeDee Lamb. I don't think they'll just ride and stand pat with where they're at right now. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. I feel like they can't. Like, I feel like it hasn't worked too well. Like, they got to get somebody on the other side of them. You know what I mean? But also too, like beefing up the offensive line and having the running backs, to be able to run behind the line will open things up for the passing game too. So, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we will. But I agree. I feel like, and that's the kind of mindset of who they got, right? The coach and then signing the offensive coordinator that used to be an offensive line coach.
Yeah.
It's like they want to run the ball. That's going to be their identity. And then everything will build off that. And if they can do that, if they run the ball and protect the quarterback, then you're right. Like things get easier on the other end. So, Uncle's asking, is Dak under contract? Yeah, he's all signed up. Pop says, hey, Blue, I know you will. That's they drafted the running back Blue out of Texas. And I think he could be pretty good because he's really fast. He's like more slight shifty.
Yeah, so, shifty type. Yeah.
Yeah, you never know. You use that as that kind of change of pace. That should be pretty cool. But we'll see. Anthony Weston said he likes the wide receiver Royals that they grabbed too, the Chiefs. And I forgot where he's from, like Utah State, or he's from like a smaller school, but apparently he's supposed to be pretty good too. And the draft always reminds me, like, yeah, these guys played well in college, and like there's a slight difference, but it's like if you can coach somebody, like there's not a big difference. It's more also about not just the player, but the situation he's going into, and are you going to use him right? So that's the crazy thing, is like how some of these draft picks can be like a 5th round pick and be like, oh, that's like the perfect spot because you can see how that player can go there, and sometimes those are more impactful than like your 1st or 2nd round draft pick, just depending on if you know what to do. So we'll see, but I wanted to talk about that. Speaking of situations and how you fall, Shedeur Sanders, kind of Anthony Weston helping us segue. he says Shedeur is with the right team. What did you think of him going to the Browns?
I mean, like there are only a handful of teams he's going to be able to go to anyway. You know what I mean? If he didn't get drafted, like it's like in the first round to, the Titans or the Giants even, or the Raiders, Browns, and Saints. I think those are like the 5 teams that I think I had that was like he's going to go to one of these teams. And for a little bit, I actually thought he might be picked up by the Rams too. I think Rams would have been actually a really good spot for him. I think just because Sean McVay he's a genius offensive mind. Yeah, exactly. I think he would have flourished there. Could have learned behind Matt Stafford for a little bit. You know what I mean? So I think it would have been a great spot for him too. But I'll say some bad, some good. I don't think he should have fallen that far. I think him falling to the 5th round, I kind of feel like that was the NFL a little bit trying to teach him a lesson. I do. But
kind of feels that way, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Feels like that.
But I've always been one of his biggest, not haters, but definitely one of his biggest
like detractors, like
just it's kind of like he talks a big game. Like I get it. I know who his daddy is. You know what I'm saying? And all that kind of fun stuff. But it's hard for me sometimes to look at his mechanics and to say, like, when we're talking about the quarterback position, like he doesn't have the greatest mechanics, like at all. You know what I mean? Like they're not great. He holds onto the ball too long. He doesn't have the greatest feet. Doesn't have the strongest arm. In my opinion, he wasn't really throwing to like real receivers. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's tricky. You know what I mean? On top of being a Colorado, when the conference was packed or had good teams in it, you won 4 games and got pretty much blown out by all the good ones. But then all of those teams left. So you never even really got a chance to like redeem yourself in the second season because they literally all left. So then you win 9 games, but they're against weaker teams and some of the teams you even lost to that you should have beaten. So like, when a lot of people were talking about him in the context of, oh, no way he should have fallen this far. He's definitely top, I do agree that some quarterbacks maybe shouldn't have gone before him, but realistically, I think he didn't really do himself any favors. You know what I mean? Especially too with kind of how he handled
the combine and all the different stuff.
Combine's kind of whatever. There's a lot of players who are projected to go top who don't go or throw or whatever the case may be. But like when you start handing out lists of teams that you're not going to play for, that you're refusing to play for, when you're not taking your interviews seriously, is a lot of that's coming out now. He was very nonchalant in interviews and things of that nature. I just feel like you didn't really do yourself any favor. Like at the end of the day, these guys are wanting to know you, you know what I'm saying, and get to know you. Like the interviews a lot of times have nothing to do with on the field stuff. It's like, who are we drafting as a man, as a person, not necessarily as a player or a quarterback. So, like, if you're not taking those interviews seriously, like, you're going to drop. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's, we want to make sure that you're taking this seriously, things of that nature. So I don't think he should have dropped that far, but he definitely didn't do himself any favors.
Yeah. I agree with you. And that's why, to me, it's like when you talk about how he interviewed him was nonchalant and stuff like that, it's like, I do agree. Like, it makes me think even more strongly, though, that like they kind of were teaching him a lesson. Like, hey, like,
let's humble you a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we still get to make these decisions, over here. So, it is kind of interesting. I do think it's like a combination of so many different things, but I was glad to see that it didn't seem like he got his spirits down too much about it, because he's still like, I'm looking at this like it's an opportunity for me to go in the league regardless. And hopefully he gets a chance to prove himself. Obviously, with Watson getting hurt again, the Browns situation is all up for grabs. But as Unc reminds us that Cleveland also drafted Dylan Gabriel too. So it's like one of those weird situations where you drafted 2 quarterbacks, kind of like the Redskins did back in the day, but not the same, because obviously RG3 was like, second pick in the draft, and then they drafted another guy later. So I don't know, but it was very interesting, and it's just one of those where you usually don't see, especially from the projections and kind of like the people that are doing the mocks and kind of writing it up, like, and getting a pulse for things. Like, usually don't see somebody fall that far. But I do think that the GMs were kind of playing it maybe closer and sharing notes internally and being like, okay, we're cool on this guy. Like, if you really want him, you can have him later, kind of thing. Like, nobody was at a rush to get him.
I would 100% think that's what was going on, because I just feel like the Browns obviously were a team that needed a quarterback, and some of the quarterbacks that were picked before him was like, all right, come on. You know what I mean? It's like, again, I don't think he is the best quarterback. This quarterback draft wasn't that strong anyway. You know what I mean? From the position. But like, there were a couple of dudes. You see some of their film, you're just like, come on, bro. Like, I don't know. It was just like I said, like you said, it was like you could definitely tell they were probably trying to humble him a little bit just for him to realize, like, we get it. You come from a very talented family, loud family, you know what I'm saying, confident family. But at the end of the day, you're still lucky to be here. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I really do think they were trying to teach him a lesson. And they probably were chiming in between, like, we want him, but if no one's gonna take him, we're gonna draft somebody else here until we have
They're like, we can fall back. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I really do think that's kind of what was going on. Like, there's like no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to hear what our brother Marcus says, because I know he's got his conspiracy theories sometimes. But it was weird though. I don't know if you saw like the film of the like Cleveland Browns draft room though, when the draft was announced, when the pick was announced. They were like so chill, like they were so like passive, and like it's just weird because obviously it's not a first or second round pick or whatever, but in those early picks, they're literally shaking everybody's hand, going around doing 30 different handshakes in the whole, jumping up and celebrating. Jerry Jones doing his little salsa dance moves, you know what I'm saying? So like,
yeah,
I think it was just interesting to see, like when they actually drafted him, they were sitting there like the kid in class that got told what to do, and it's like being defiant kind of thing. Like they were like they were not excited at all. So
for sure, and it's crazy too because you would almost think getting him in the 5th round is a crazy steal. So you would honestly think that they would still be jumping up and down even in the 5th round because you got him in the 5th round.
Right.
When he was projected to go in the first.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
So that was interesting. Very interesting. Pop said, I'm going to pass due to the language I would use to give my thoughts.
I'm curious. I'm curious what you think. Like I wholeheartedly am. Like let it fly. It's whatever. I really want to know because like I said, I hope the kid does well. Like I'm never rooting against him. It's never that. It's just I'm good with confidence. I love confidence. I'm confident. You know what I mean? Like, but like sometimes it's like when you just kind of like overbear it a little too much, like kind of prior to, you know what I mean? It's like, let's bring it down just a little bit, dog. Like you still got to get drafted, and round 1 to round 5. That's what I think he said. He's going to miss out $40 million.
That's crazy.
Because of where he went, I'm like, oh, that's $40 million. Like,
well, and sometimes too, you get down to the 5th and 6th rounds, you don't even know if you're going to necessarily make the team. Like it's not even like a guarantee. So it is a lot different. But obviously, we'll see. But I do think it was kind of something similar to that, where they were just kind of like, we let him sweat. You know what I'm saying? Like collectively, they were like, we're good. Like just let him see what's going on. Let him wait. But I don't know. But Kelly, I think Kelly was a good point though. I don't think other confident people are punished like that, and I think it is that balance of like where your projection's at, and maybe you're a little bit farther off in your mind than where you thought they were, and his confidence, they took him back like, oh, well, you're not as good as you think type of thing. But I agree that I don't think other people are punished like that, but depends on their perceived value as well too, And quarterback is a harder position where there's only one, like there's only so many jobs. Kind of like you said, Strizzy, like there was only a handful of teams that were ever going to take him anyway. So every time you miss one, it's a long way till the next opportunity.
Exactly. All the teams who are going to draft him had like the first 6 picks, 7 picks, you know what I'm saying? And they didn't go then. So I was like, oh, dang. And then the Rams came up. I was like, okay, maybe the Rams will take him. And they didn't take him. I was like, okay, yeah, it's going to be at least in second day. Yeah, I would have like Rams for him. I think it would have been straight for him too. And I do agree with Kelly, you know what I'm saying? Like, confident people don't get punished like that. But like a part of me also feels too like it was a little more than the confidence. Like there was more.
Well, it's also the platform for it too, because they know it's going to get attention on their end. Like in a weird way, I do think that it's like, they they're like, oh, okay, like this is a lot of attention on this guy too, so you have that rare case to like kind of make an example of somebody,
Mm-hmm.
And so he was just kind of the right person at the right time too, where they were just kind of like, all right, we'll chill. Mom said in the fake draft last week, didn't they have him number 1? Yeah, that is crazy.
They did.
They did. And I think a lot of people, at least farther into or farther back, had it been like, oh, it's going to come down to a preference, like either him or Cam Ward. But like that was obviously the best 2 quarterbacks in the draft. That's, then it was like later on as it got closer and closer to the draft, oh, well, what's his name? Jackson Dart, and, started hearing different names, but
yeah, that was weird.
Go that far.
The Dart one was one that really kind of killed me. I was like, ain't no way y'all think Dart is better than Shedeur Sanders. Like, whether or not I have any type of feelings for him, like Dart, it's not shouldn't have gone for him.
Mom said owners showed their true colors.
They've been showed their true colors.
They know what's up. Mom said the Rams did okay on their draft, and I thought they did a good job. They basically went offense, defense all the way through, and kind of switched up back and forth. But I think they did an okay job. And the Rams, I don't know, they were a pretty good team. They made it to the NFC Championship game. They had a great chance last year and a great run, and I feel like Stafford's got 1 or 2 more years in him if they can keep making it work. So we'll see. But PFF had the Rams grade at a B+. That's not bad at all.
That's solid. Yeah, that's definitely solid.
Unk said 5 teams have pledged to assist Shedeur with any rookie issues he deals with. Well, speaking of issues too, there was the prank call thing, which I feel bad for him. And also I didn't know what you guys thought of that too, but the prank call, they tracked it back to the son of the Falcons defensive coordinator. And they said they issued a statement basically saying like that he inadvertently gained access to his dad's iPad and like got the number off of there and earlier last week, and then saved it to do the prank on him. So he was planning it. The only thing is obviously the prank is ill-spirited, and like I think that is messed up. But I don't know if you heard the actual prank call, but they really didn't actually do a good job like pranking him. Like it wasn't like that convincing, which again, it doesn't excuse it, but at least it wasn't like he was really like led on and he was really like, because it was really weird. But yeah, I think that was pretty bad. But I almost, and I hate to say it like this, but it's like if you were gonna go do that and you were gonna be that mean, like you should have at least made it like had something you were planning to say. Like they like didn't have no preparation for it. They just really did that just to obviously be mean. But it's like you should at least do a good job if you're gonna go that route. I don't know why, but I'm being critical of the fact that they didn't really prank him that good. But
right.
I don't know. That was messed up though. I do think though it's interesting. What do you think should happen though to the defensive coordinator, if anything? Like, just has to go through some more training or something?
Nah, probably. I don't know. Well, if anything happens at all, being completely honest. But what I mean, it's kind of one of them things where it's like you got to do better at keeping stuff like that away from people. You know what I mean? Like even family. You know what I mean? Like you have too much access to too many people's like lives and important phone numbers or things of that nature. Like his son could have gotten to so much more stuff. Like he probably had access to every Falcons player phone number at that point in time. You know what I'm saying? He could have just released. He could have so much could have happened with that. So like maybe like you're right. Maybe like some training. Yeah, I mean he got to go through some training, something like that. Keep your stuff locked up. Keep away from the kids, things of that nature. But it's like at the end of the day too, it's like how old's his son?
He's like at least high school or maybe even a little bit older.
Oh yeah, he gotta get the belt, dog. Son's getting in trouble. That's for sure, 100%. Because I think like you're embarrassing me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, people are looking at the kid like, oh, whatever. But now, like, Pop's like, I'm embarrassed. Like, no, like that's my livelihood.
Yeah.
You like this big ass house? Like, you're messing with that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. Oh, he's 21 years old.
Oh, that's made it even worse.
Unintentionally came across draft contact phone number while iPad was open when he was at his parents' house.
That's crazy. That's crazy. You're too old, dog. You're too old.
Yeah, Kelly said I thought he was in his 20s. I thought he was like a senior in high school type of thing. How do we know he didn't take more He should get a consequence. Do you know the punishment if someone unauthorized comes on my computer? That's true. Like for an everyday person like us at a 9 to 5, that's it for you. Like
for real.
You can't. You're not just gonna be like, oh, sorry, my bad. Won't happen again.
For real. All the HIPAA I got on my computer.
No, Pop said no discipline from league or team.
22-year-old college student.
Yeah,
that's crazy. It is crazy. Like I feel like I said, there's probably not going to be anything, but there should be.
Yeah, should be something.
Yeah,
that's
I bet you. Though. I bet you if it was like Tom Brady or something got that phone call, somebody get in trouble.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Exactly. Oh man, that's a weird one though. Definitely weird situation, but it seems like he did like talk to Shedeur on the phone and seemed like he was like whatever. He kind of gave him said whatever, but yeah, again, there one of them last year, I can't remember who it was. He was in the I think it was Cooper DeJean last year. They called him and did him the same way. So like that prank call thing is becoming like more of a trend for sure. Which I think that is messed up. You've been working all your life for this phone call. You know what I'm saying?
For real.
Like that's a big deal.
Get a burner for the game. For the draft, I mean.
For real. For real. It's like you shouldn't make sure nobody has that phone number.
For real.
All right. Well, that's what's up. So those were our big stories. We're probably gonna wrap it up a little bit early here, but I did want to mention one cool thing going on this weekend. There's a golf tournament, and my brothers are gonna be playing in honor of AZ Kindness and SLAC. It's kind of like a collaboration. You know what I'm saying? Represented at the charity golf event this Saturday. So definitely wish our boys some luck. I'll be there helping out with the tournament as well. Hopefully driving a golf cart around, maybe, you know what I'm saying? Something, delivering water or something like that. But hopefully I'm having a cool little job while y'all go out and represent. So, and hopefully win us some swag or something. That'll be really cool.
I know, hopefully. Something good come out of it.
That'll be dope. Oh, Anthony, I did mean to mention Anthony. You got to see a European soccer match last week, and I did see that you were out there in Paris at the Mona Lisa and everything like that. So it looks like a super dope experience. I know you said earlier you were dealing with going back to work, but I definitely want to say welcome home. Glad you traveled safe, and would love to hear more about your experience for sure. But yeah. It's always cool to go out and see the world, and it's always cool to make it home safe for sure too. So that's what's up. Glad you had that experience.
Yeah, that's tight.
It benefits. Mom said, "What charity but does it benefit?" It benefits AZ Community Impact. So yeah, it's their annual charity golf tournament, and we'll be out there represented. Grace's a little kindness thing, and SLAC as well. So that'll be dope. That's one thing we don't have yet is like polos or any like nice gear like that.
I know.
It'd be cool if we got a polo with that original logo on it that had all the different logos. Yeah, even though that's another thing. That's another thing that we would get fined for, I'm sure. But
right, it's all good though. I gotta go buy it.
We still have it somewhere. Oh, right here.
No, Ant calling you out. He said PSG.
I know, but that's that's where he went. That's dope. But I was not happy with them today. But I'm glad at least it's just the first leg. We'll have to try to get them back. Kelly said you should add a link for non-golfers to donate. I'll see if they have one for sure, and I'll put it out that. Sorry about Arsenal. Yeah.
For real.
But no, it's all good. We'll see them again. But yeah, good stuff there. Definitely appreciate all the love and support, and we'll see if the Lakers can make a historical comeback. If not, that's all good. But that's my last rooting interest, and also hockey on the playoff side. On the hockey side is going pretty good, but my Avalanche lost last night too, so they need a couple of wins. Anthony Weston, yeah, that's my team, Arsenal. I got my scarf right here, but. It was a rough game today, but that's okay. They'll be back next week. I think they're gonna still take it. So we'll see. But again, 1 month countdown until episode 300. So stay tuned for details on that. We're going to try to make it special. And we might need some help from you slackers as well. We might need some submissions and stuff like that. So we'll be letting you guys know all the big plans for that. And we'll be back next week with episode 297.
That's crazy.
But until then, definitely going to sign off here. Again, thank you for being with us. And that was Say Like a Champ. It's your boy A-Dub.
And your boy Strizzy.
We out.